Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This one comes from Protonstream, which of course you should never cross them. Hey, John and crew. Yesterday was Ghostbusters Day, and a ton of announcements were made about the future of the franchise. Most importantly, it was announced that Jason Reitman and Kenan are officially working on a new live-action film that will presumably serve as a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. As a lifelong Ghostbusters fan, I absolutely loved Afterlife and can't wait to see what they've got planned for the franchise. What do you think of these announcements? Are you interested in more Ghostbusters projects?
All right. So, yeah, they had like a Ghostbusters Day, made a bunch of announcements. Let me cover a couple of the smaller things here. So, first, there is an animated movie coming that's going to be with a bunch of new characters. So they talked about this new Ghostbusters animated movie that they're coming. They've also got an animated series coming that they're working on. Now, when I read that, I got a little choked up because one of the last things that John Schnepp had kind of been connected to was he was working with Sony. He was in talks with Sony to direct the Ghostbusters animated series. And I think now a friend of his, the guy who was one of the founders of Titmouse, is now going to be kind of shepherding that. So when I heard about that and I saw it, I'm going to admit, I got a little bit choked up. Main story here, though, is Jason Reitman doing the next Ghostbusters film. They're moving it back to Manhattan, back into the firehouse. And it's actually, right now, their working title is Ghostbusters Firehouse. So the family is moving out of the farm, going back in the city and stuff like this. Listen, speaking of CinemaCon, not at this most recent one, like a month and a half ago, but it was last CinemaCon, like a year ago, when me and Aaron Cummings were there in the audience, and Jason Reitman and his dad, rest in peace, the great Ivan Reitman, were on stage together talking about how excited they were to bring the new Ghostbusters to theaters. And then they said, as a matter of fact, we're going to show you the whole movie right now. And all of us were like, what? And they played Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I was delighted by it. I mean, is it as good as the original Ghostbusters? No. Beats the living crap out of Ghostbusters 2, but not as good as the original. But still, it was delightful. Paul Rudd was great in it. The younger cast were really solid, especially Egon's granddaughter. I mean, she's
great.
That kid was great.
And she sings the closing credits song.
Yes, that's right. She does that as well. So it was a delight, a lot of fun, pleasant surprise. And Jason Reitman is like, seriously, one of my favorite directors. Not only is he a good Canadian kid, but you're talking about movies like Up in the Air, which Juno, Thank You for Smoking is like such an underrated treasure of a movie. And now he's got this one, which was fantastic. I love that they're moving forward because, listen, Sony put this thing out in theaters when it was still very hard to put a movie in theaters because of the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. And Sony looked at the box office results and said, and they looked at it the right way. They's like, are these great numbers for normal circumstances? No. But we think this was a really good result given the circumstances, and we believe in this franchise, and they're doing another one. I, for one, am very excited to see where it goes. Anyway, Rob, you heard all these announcements. Ghostbusters, Firehouse, they may change the title later, but what do you think about it?
Well, look, I enjoyed Afterlife too. I thought it was a little nostalgia drenched, but I thought it was.
Oh, it absolutely was.
It was good, and they did it for a price. It wasn't a hugely costly movie, and I think it really showed how you can. For me, it's the best kind of a sequel, where it's a very different kind of a story. They went to a very different location, which in itself really changed the feel of it all. I thought the film was definitely a worthy sequel. I really enjoyed the fact that it was so different. I was intrigued by the story, and I loved the cast. I thought the cast was great. I thought it was a terrific film, and it like you pointed out, it was a good result for the time, and Sony's looking at it going, and clearly it's probably done very well on home video and very well on streaming or video on demand, so they're looking at all kinds of numbers, and the aggregate number there is probably something like, let's make another one of these. And, especially in the wake of 80s nostalgia, obviously Ghostbusters to me captures, it's 1984, it's smack dab in the center of the 80s. And when we have things like Stranger Things and including some of the same cast members of the show.
That's right.
I mean, we're now in a place where I think that the people that are handling Ghostbusters, because it's now a legacy franchise, you have the son succeeding the father in actually making it. I think, why not? Bring on the Ghostbusters. Who doesn't love Ghostbusters? I mean, John, after Top Gun Maverick, at this point, you can reboot anything. I want to see Adventures in Babysitting 2.
Friggin' love Adventures in Babysitting.
And Thor's in it.
Well, why am I freezing on her name from Karate Kid?
Well,
Hilary Swank.
Oh yeah,
Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth
Yeah.
Shue.
Yeah.
Right? Was she not in Adventures in Babysitting?
yeah.
She was, right?
yeah.
And of course, she was
she's the
great in The
babysitter.
Boys season 1.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
she's
she was so good.
incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, you hear about this news. Are you down for another Ghostbusters?
And yes, I am. Oh my gosh, I loved Afterlife. And it was nostalgia soaked, but in a way that worked for me. Same way for Top Gun, where that didn't resonate for me. Ghostbusters, it ticked all the boxes for me, including just having jars of spores for Egon. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Those little details. I'm smacking my husband the whole time, like, do you see? And he's like, I didn't watch this as a kid. I don't know what you're talking about. My gateway.
married him?
I know. Well, this was after we were married, Rob, and you can only have so many marriages. I'm not Liz Taylor.
Oh, wow.
Right? So
Oh, is that a rule?
my gateway drug to Ghostbusters were the animated series. There was a really cringy to look back on 1997 show called Extreme Ghostbusters. And once I started watching that, which was swiftly canceled after a season, my dad went, oh my gosh, you know what you should watch that's actually good? And then introduced me to these films. So like I have this real wonderful like father-daughter connection to the movies. So watching, the son take over the franchise too was real beautiful for me and personal for me. And I can't wait to see what else they do
I
here.
like that.
All right, guys, question is for you. What did you think about Ghostbusters Afterlife? And now it is official. They are moving ahead with the sequel to it. The family's moving away from the farmhouse, back into Manhattan, the home of the Ghostbusters. Are you excited about it? Maybe you weren't all that big on the Afterlife. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. We want to take a minute and thank the sponsors of this video, Liquid IV. Now listen, just one stick of Liquid IV added to 16 ounces of water will hydrate you faster and more efficiently than just water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course vitamin C with 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. And what makes Liquid IV so effective is the science of cellular transport technology, or CTT. You see, it's designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. Ann and I get up pretty early in the morning to go to the gym because we can't go to the gym at any other time during the day. And for the last couple of weeks, I have been drinking 1 full glass of water with Liquid IV. And all I can tell you is you can feel the difference during the workout. So go and grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Campea at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code Campea, that's Campea, at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today when you go to liquidiv.com, and remember, use the promo code at checkout, Campea.